Hold on. All right, Paul, you're up.
Okay. Here we go. Test, test, test. On today's episode of Quality Time with Family Ties, we learn big girls don't need your mansplaining.
And in 5, 4, 3, 2. Hey, everyone. Welcome to Quality Time with Family Ties. I am one of your hosts, Scott Jones. Joining me all the way from New York City, Paul Packler. How are you?
I'm so tired that I dressed up and then I'm wearing sunglasses, so that way I put people off my scent. That they're like, oh, look how good he looks. He's probably not miserable right now, but I'm kind of miserable.
Why are you so tired? Are you hungover?
Yeah.
No, I'm not even. It's just, I don't know. Like, this week has been so busy, and like I get like 5-6 hours sleep a night, and then by the weekend I'm just like crashing, and I didn't get enough sleep to cover the difference.
Well, Scott, you have a small child. You should be getting a lot of sleep.
Oh, yeah. I don't need this shit, Paul.
Exactly.
You try dealing with it, you get. Thank you, Corey.
I'm getting 10 hours of sleep, and it's not enough.
Fuck you, Paul. Fuck you. And Corey Pepper, how are you doing? Are you getting enough sleep?
I did get enough sleep, but I've had the worst cold this week. So if I start hacking up phlegm, I tweeted one point this week that I felt my cough was so deep I was going to cough up a testicle. That's why I felt all week long. So I could start coughing, but I'm much better today. I feel good. I just sound terrible.
If he does cough up a testicle, audience members, go to our YouTube page. And you'll
If
be
I
able
cough up a testicle, I'm sending it to you, Paul.
I could use it. We're not going to answer what that means to anybody, but
just leave it very cryptic.
We'll post pictures on our Facebook page. And guys, I'm glad we're raising the bar for our listeners, so they're already revved up for this episode. So if you're following along, we are on Season 1, Episode 12. And before I say the title, there's a testicle. Oh, we got the testicle.
Not yet.
Not yet. Before I say the title, I want to pose this question to you guys, okay? So this episode is about teenage pregnancy. Right. We're all writers. We've written a couple of things. So I'm a member of the writing staff of Family Ties. I got this episode about teenage pregnancy. Just throw out a couple of titles that you might want to call this.
Oh.
What are some ideas?
Put me on the spot here.
I know, really.
Not to put you on the spot, I know. Just throwing it out there. I just want to see what you would think. Just throw out a title of what you would call an episode about teenage pregnancy.
Hot teenage sex.
Okay.
Let's see. Cindy is easy.
Okay, Cindy is easy. All of those much better than the title that the writing staff came up with. The title of this episode is Oops.
But I think maybe they were going for not giving away the plot in the title, just knowing that there was a mistake made.
Sure.
That's true. Who do you think said oops? Do you think it was Freddie when they were having sex and he didn't pull out? Do you think it was Cindy when she peed on the stick?
Yeah.
Who do you think it was?
I think it's Mallory when she finds out that Cindy is pregnant.
I don't know. I was like, this is the laziest title for an episode I've ever seen.
Especially considering, I think it was you who said it, Paul. It's a good episode. It's funny.
Yeah, there's 2 laugh out loud jokes in this.
There absolutely are funny jokes. I thought there were solid jokes almost throughout the whole episode.
Yeah.
All right, so let's jump into it. The family's sitting around, and Alex is getting ready to go for a meeting for the Youth for a Sane Economy Club. Did they happen to have that at your school, Paul?
Alex belongs to more clubs that he's the only member of.
That's what it is. He's just padding out his resume. He's just like, he's like Rand Paul, like where he invented his own ophthalmology.
On the run, I have no supporters.
Exactly. His wife is the treasurer, and for Alex, his teddy bear is the secretary, and
I remember when I was in college and you would see flyers around campus for an Ayn Rand club or something like that, and I always was just curious just to go to see how many people would show
Who's
up for those
going?
things.
It would
Yeah.
fall apart. No one would pay dues. They would all be like, "No, fuck you. I'm keeping my money. What are you gonna take my money and spread it around?"
And while while Alex is talking about the club he's about to go to, Jennifer comes in with a book. I believe it's called "Our Bodies Ourselves." It's like a health textbook.
It is, and I have a little anecdote about our bodies ourselves.
Oh, please.
My first girlfriend, when I was 17 years old, was a very cute little feminist who I took her virginity.
Wow.
And she, in a moment of incredible kindness and education, bought me a copy of Our Bodies Ourselves so that she could show me what the female genitalia looks like and where I need to focus my attentions.
Wow. Now wait a second. Let's
We gotta break this down. Yeah, let's break this down.
Okay.
Remind everybody that when you went to camp, you lost your virginity a year or two before.
That's correct. I was not a virgin, but she was.
So during all of this time, you
That's correct.
did not become a better lover. Is that what this girl?
No, I knew nothing about it.
Nice.
Right.
Which is some foreshadowing to the end of this episode, actually.
Yes, it is, actually. That's right.
Wow.
So I think Our Bodies Ourselves was a very helpful book for a 17-year-old boy to learn about a woman's anatomy.
Is that what it primarily is? Is a sex?
No, it's not necessarily sexual, but it teaches women about their bodies and the changes that happen during both puberty and menopause and hormonally during pregnancy. And it's just a feminist book teaching women to take control of their own bodies.
And I just did some quick reading, like literally before we got online, where it said that it was written in '71 before, and it was very frank in its discussion of abortion. Which at the time in '71, when Our Bodies Ourselves was a pamphlet, not a book, it was published in '74. Abortion was illegal by '71. It wasn't until '72 that Roe versus Wade was decided.
Right, decided.
So Corey, was this a book that was given out at schools?
No. Gosh.
Okay. All right.
No, this was a book that either she bought or her mom bought for her.
Okay. And we quickly find out that this is a book not for Jennifer. She was just curious about the book, but it actually was.
Who brought the book into the house?
Mallory did.
Mallory.
Apparently, because
Mallory did.
It was in Mallory's room, and Jennifer stole it. But at the same time, it's somewhat said that they're reading it in health class. Like there's.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And that's why I was wondering if this was something that was given out in schools, because they do reference health class in there.
It would probably be more likely that they would separate the class and maybe give it to the girls in the girls' part of the class, and in the boys' part of the class, what did we watch in boys' class? We watched the film strip or the movie where the pubic hair grows magically like a flower.
I remember that. They still have. I remember that.
I know they do.
I don't even remember getting pubic hair. Now I'm like a goddamn monkey. But like, I don't know when it happened. Just one day I was Sasquatch.
Yeah, I'm kind of like a fucking hobbit too, Paul. I'm the same one. So Mallory comes down, and she's very, very anxious because her friend Cindy is coming over, and she wants to be there right at the door when she comes, and it's very clear that something is up. That I think she gives the cover
that Mallory is lying. So she's playing the actress is playing lying from the very get-go.
Yes.
Yeah, they do that a lot. It's very sitcom-y.
It's very, very sitcom-y. It really takes out any extra dialogue needed to ferret out what's happening. Because if you just play lying, well, we know what's going on. She's lying about something.
Right. It's like the dictum of where you're doing filmmaking or writing a TV show or whatever, where it's like if you could hit mute, you can tell what's going on the screen. But with the way that she's acting, you can tell from space through a lead wall that she's lying.
Yes. A blind person can tell that she's lying by hearing her. And so Cindy comes over. It's not long before Cindy comes over. and they try to get upstairs extremely quick. Like, I think Elise comes over to kind of say hi to Cindy and everything, and Cindy's first reaction is, "Okay, let's go upstairs to your room.
Yeah.
We have work to do." I
don't know who she's played by, but if I had seen this episode when I was a kid, I would have been in love with Cindy. She's this cute blonde girl.
Now, Paul, you're not familiar with Cindy? She doesn't strike a bell.
She looked familiar to me. I didn't look her up, though. She did look familiar.
I bothered to take a moment to look her up, and I'm just so surprised that of all people, Paul Packler doesn't recognize her.
Who is she?
Listeners, here we go. It's a bomb being dropped.
Yep. She appeared in the movie Back to the Future.
Oh, yes. Okay, I did read that.
She played the role of Betty in Back to the Future, so she must have had a friendship with Michael J. Fox of some sort, or a relationship, and got this role.
Yeah. Holy shit, good call, yo. Yeah, Betty is, I think, one of Lorraine's friends when in the 50s when Michael J. Fox goes skateboarding and she's like, "Oh, look, at the diner and all that." So I feel like I don't even know she had a name as that character.
I didn't either. I was like, "Who's Betty?"
But good for her and good for Michael J. Fox.
Yeah, must have liked her. Brought her in. She was good too. I thought she was very good in the episode.
She was great in this episode.
Definitely.
So the girls go up to Mallory's room, and we discover Cindy has taken a pregnancy test and has come back positive.
Mm-hmm.
She is pregnant and obviously scared, doesn't know what to do, and trying to seek comfort from Mallory. And Mallory's first reaction, which I thought was really sweet, is, okay, well, Cindy first says that I can't go to my mom. My mom is going to freak out. We kind of get the impression that she's, if we were to label this character maybe a little born-again Christian. And so she's like, well, let me get my mom to talk to you, and maybe that will help.
Right. But before that, before we get to the part where Elise comes up to discuss, we learn who the father was, and it's this kid in their class named Fred Bros. And
wait, Fred Blows?
Bros. There would be a lot less problems for these kids if Fred had just blown.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
But Jennifer comes in with Oreo cookies as.
Oh yes, sorry, I'm so
as the
sorry.
two of them are discussing, and by this episode, like last episode, I forget. It's been a while since we did the last episode, but I don't know if I put my flag in the sand to say that I hate Jennifer as a character, and I hope that character dies, even though I know she won't. I just hope. And when she comes on screen in this episode, every time, it's just so aggravating. Like, she comes in with Oreo cookies, they're talking about pregnancy, she says nothing of value, and then leaves 90 seconds later.
She adds nothing to the scene, and it goes on for a minute and a half.
I hate Jennifer.
It goes back to my theory when we first started this. I've always felt this. They had one kid too many. They never needed a Jennifer character. And I know they were trying to have a cutesy, little cutesy kid in there, but it's at this point that it's very clear they don't know what to do with Jennifer, and the cutesiness and the little, funny lines coming in, really, especially in this episode, because we're dealing with a serious subject, and she's trying to cutesy it up, don't work and really make you hate her. At the very least, I wish they, sent her off to boarding school or something.
Yeah. Send her to a farm upstate, something.
Yeah. It would have been better for everybody.
Although,
there's
I'm never going to defend Tina Yothers, but I will say that she certainly learned working with Michael Gross and Meredith Baxter Birney and both Justine and Michael J. Fox how to deliver a comedic line relatively competently. She's dreadful and she doesn't serve any purpose, but she became a little bit more competent with putting in a quip here or there.
Yes, and I just want to qualify that I'm not saying Tina Yothers specifically, although sometimes, yes, that is the problem, is her as an actor.
Yes.
My problem, primarily, my hatred stems from the character, exactly.
Of course.
Yeah,
absolutely. She serves no purpose.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's just a third wheel, and I think it's going to become even more apparent as the series goes on.
Yeah.
So yeah, we have the annoying Oreo moment, and they decide to grab. Okay, so they kick Jennifer out, and they decide to grab Elise to come up and talk to Cindy. So she at least has an adult to talk to.
And here's one of the jokes that's actually funny is that
Here we go.
Mallory yells downstairs, "Mom, could you come up? We need some help moving furniture." And then Steven goes, "Well, do you need me to help?" And they're like, "No." And that's funny, I guess, right?
It's funnier than some of the stuff that's been on the show, especially after the god-awful Christmas episode.
Yeah. And so Elise comes up and they discuss what happened and that she's pregnant. And I am very impressed with the fact that abortion is the first word of options that come out of their mouth.
Absolutely.
Yes, I was shocked by it.
Yeah. She had 3 choices, and abortion was the first one. So I applaud Gary David Goldberg for at least giving women a choice.
Ballsy. For that time, extremely ballsy, and it was great.
They say abortion, adoption, or keep it, and just the fact that it was done without any fanfare, that it wasn't done with a lot of defensive,
judgment.
like what? Yeah, no judgment. Yeah, that was really cool.
Yeah,
I totally agree, and it totally sort of surprised me that that's how it came out, and I thought, you know what? I don't think they'd be that honest on TV today. They'd be afraid.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
I thought, that's pretty ballsy.
Yeah,
good.
Just to go with the tone of the show, I think, Paul, you hit it. It's not done. The whole episode is not done with any fanfare of pro-life, pro-choice. It's just about this confused girl trying to figure out what to do. So,
and I'll go back to maybe that's why it's called Oops, because it was a mistake. Mistakes happen.
That's a good point. Yeah, and that's how she keeps characterizing it when she does argue with her mom later in the episode.
Yeah, it's a mistake.
Yeah.
Okay, you're winning me over on the Oops argument. Okay. Maybe it's not such a bad title.
Yeah. We'll edit all that out.
I thought Meredith Baxter Burney was really good in this episode. I thought she was understanding. She understood the girl's point of view. She understood her mother's point of view. She understood Mallory's point of view. And I thought that she was handling it all really, really well in this episode. Really good work on her part.
And the writing too. They're not making up these words. The writing is very even-handed, and I thought it was very deftly handled the subject matter.
Yeah. There is when Elise comes in and the problem is, the situation is explained to her, there is kind of a look on Elise. They do a cut to her a little. It's really quick where, Mallory is saying, you know what, if you need to stay with us, you can. It's okay. Just stay with us. It's, whatever you need. And the look on Elise's face is like, whoa, 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 whoa. Let's slow down here. Don't bring this problem to our door.
And I thought it was deftly handled the way Elise didn't judge that, and then she steered the conversation more towards, you have to talk to your mother.
Right. Instead of avoiding,
Right. You can't just hide out here. Eventually, you have to talk to your mother about this.
Right. Yeah. And so that's what they decide to do. The scene ends with them saying, "Okay, I'll call my mom and we'll hash this out. I'll go home and discuss."
Yeah. So but when we come back, we discover that all did not go well. Oh no! Wait. I'm sorry. Let me flash back. It's late at night. Mallory is sitting up late. She's worried about her friend Cindy, how it all went down with her mom. And Elise comes in.
She's eating an entire freaking chocolate cake.
That's true. Yep. And she tells her mom how much she's worried about it, and a little and I kind of see Mallory's side too. She's a little upset with her mom that why she wasn't more proactive of taking Cindy in and everything. That don't send her off to her mom who doesn't want to talk to her. Why couldn't you do anything? And I like that Elise stood her ground. Like, this needs to happen. She needs to talk with her mom.
Right. And that's the other good thing that in the deft handling of this issue is that you age the Cindy character and the Mallory character and say these are two children. They are young adults, whatever. And so their reasoning and logic skills are not that of an adult. They are having adult problems, but they are children, and that is greatly shown in the way that Mallory reacts about the whole discussing the problem with Cindy's mom and freaking out that it's Elise's fault, as we learn, that things do not go well when the mom finds out.
Right. So Mallory goes up to bed, and Steven comes in, hearing that the girls are up and everything, and it was kind of I really kind of like this conversation too, because it's
Can I say something? There seems to be some Mad Men-esque costuming stuff going on in this episode, where Mallory is in a pink bathrobe and Elise is in a purple one. And then when Steven comes in, he's in a blue and black plaid bathrobe. Mm-hmm. And if you watch Mad Men, they really use costumes to symbolize things. I think this is the blue-black masculinity versus the femininity of the purple and pink, and that they're on the same complementing team of colors, whereas Steven is against them.
Interesting. Paul, that was
such a heavy thinker.
That was deep.
Yeah. Hey, don't thank me. Thank the costuming people.
I have noticed we spent a lot of time talking about the costumes on this show.
Well, I think it's 30 years later, they're sort of funny.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, for three guys hanging out, we talk a lot about wardrobe.
I thought it was interesting that Steven had this light bulb aha moment of realizing that if Cindy is sexually active, ergo Mallory could be sexually active, and that was sort of a hard thing for Dad to swallow, pardon the pun, right there.
Yeah, this is where Steven begins to lose me as a character, because if we think back to all of the discussions we had about, and especially in, like, say, episode 5, where he's with his dad, Jake, and Jake is the great misogynist Keaton of them all, that Steven has all of these backsliding into chauvinistic opinions of women, and, he doesn't hang out with a ton of black people. I feel like eventually, by mid-90s, when Fox News comes out, Steven is not going to be the liberal that he thinks he is.
Well, I thought that was funny. In that scene, he actually said, after one thing that he said, he followed it up with the quip, "Do I sound like Alex?"
That was good.
And I thought, wow, that's a real moment of realization that there is an overlap between what Steven thinks and what Alex he's not just an anomaly who comes out of nowhere. He probably hears this stuff from Steven in a way.
Totally. And there are episodes coming up where Alex really has a lot of chauvinist things that are happening. Like he'll have a boss at the bank who's a woman, and that episode is going to be priceless. But Steven to me is just really not as liberal as he thinks. He's like a Bill Maher, Dennis Miller liberal, or David Mamet. Like, just like with friends like these, who needs friends?
And he even says at one point, like you were saying, he says at one point, she's the same age as Mallory. I mean, it could be this could be Mallory, which made me think, it's like, are you not? You're judging yourself as a parent now. Are you not? Don't you feel competent about your parenting skills to some degree?
That's what I was wondering. I was thinking, well, just in an earlier scene, or does it come later where they talk about communication and how we're very lucky that we do communicate in this family? I don't know. Maybe they don't communicate as good as they think they communicate with each other.
Yeah, no, there are definitely double standards. And when Elise is like, well, Steven, do you want it to be like how it was back when we were kids and no one told us about sex and this and that? And then he's like, he says the new honesty between men and women. That's the term that he uses. Which is
honesty.
There's no discussion of free love. Like, he doesn't say that. Like, the new honesty is what? I've never heard that expression with regard
I've never heard it either.
With regard to, like, feminism or anything like that. There was free love in the 60s, and men still treated women like shit, and then by the 70s you had the feminist movement. And
that's what changed things.
Yeah, so Steven and Alex in this episode, you could just get them right the hell out of there. Like, Our Bodies, Ourselves should have been the title of this episode.
There you
just
go.
Get the guys out of this episode.
Yeah. Actually, Paul, new honesty would be how Fox News would twist free love. That would be their phrasing.
The new
Right.
honesty.
It's not free love, it's new honesty.
Yeah, that's how they would be
Yep.
like, oh no, 40 years ago when you would just have casual sex, it was fine because that was new honesty. Uh-oh. Are
So
we losing?
find out.
There we go.
No. We find
Okay.
out
We're
at the
good,
end
we're good.
of this episode, at the end of this act, that Cindy is missing.
Yeah, she calls home. She calls Cindy's home, and
By the
it's
way,
the shortest.
she's calling in the middle of the night, which is always a good thing if you want to keep a secret from Cindy's mom.
Right, right. She's just like, oh, hey, what's going on? And then it's the shortest conversation. And then, like, it lasts like 30 seconds. And then there was this whole discussion that apparently happened on the other end of the phone. It's just a really weird acted moment.
It is. It's it's one of those things like, in improv, you always tell people, please don't have phone conversations with people who are off screen.
Right.
Did we lose Scott?
I don't know. Did we, Scott? Are you there?
No, he said restarting, and he's frozen.
Oh, shit. Okay, all right.
Yeah.
I'll take a quick second.
Yeah. I do like the picture of him that's frozen, though. He looks very cool,
he
very
looks
thoughtful.
He looks like his face is melted off. Like he looks like the guy from Fame at the end of RoboCop. Remember when he's like he gets covered in the toxic waste?
Yes. Yes. He does look like that. It's a very fuzzy picture that it froze up. Is he calling us yet? Is he back with us
yet? I don't know. I'm looking right now. Come on. Restarting. All right, I guess we'll just hang up and then get back on.
Okay.
Okay, I'll see you in a second.